Actually, this is one of the most exciting days for me. Coming back from 1 month of being offline. No phone, no computer, actually just having to face my own addiction to social media, to answering the phone, reaching for it so many times, but then coming to more stillness, more presence, more clarity. And so excited today to be joining with you for some of those, some real powerful things that have emerged from there that apply directly to you. Some exciting announcements today about things that we're going to do we've never done before. Having some updates from people around the world, focusing today on Brazil, on Nepal, and on Turkey. And then also hearing today is a very special 9/11 Global Healing Miracle Call. We have some of the heroes from 9/11 that will speak to you, understanding how, by applying the ancient secrets, their life got better. And then also, on top of that, knowing that it's not just that Dr. Ram could use these ancient secrets to remove toxins from people's bodies from such a serious condition, but today we have some real inspiring stories, including my mom, about how using the 28-day detox you can do at home. You can also remove toxins from your body and some of the remarkable things that have happened. So having said that, we're going to go straight into a 6-minute video from Brazil, having an update from Brazil. And as you're watching it, just in the chat, just share, where are you joining from? Where are you joining from in the world? All right, Cornelia, over to you.
Okay.
Namaskar. Now I want you to allow yourself to reprogram your wonderful subconscious mind. Believe it or not, my master, who lived up to 125, said, you have all the right to become successful. You have a right to become a winner. You have a right to face your fear and also your ego. And that can only happen when you are coming from your own authenticity and your own being. And my master said that every day morning, if you speak these words in this way, the way I am sharing with you, you become unstoppable. Everything becomes a new dimension.
Trabalhando na área da saúde, eu sei a importância de estar buscando novos conhecimentos, ensinamentos. E o livro Segredos Antigos de um Mestre Curador. Ele traz histórias inspiradoras que agregam valor ao nosso conhecimento e ao nosso dia a dia.
Esse livro aqui, crianças, é O Segredo Antigo de um Mestre Curador. Ele fala do Dr. Naran. O Dr. Naran, ele ensina a gente obter curas no nosso dia a dia, no nosso cotidiano. Então, aqueles remédios que a mamãe tomava antes, hoje em dia a mamãe já diminuiu, eu não vou chegar a um ponto que eu não vou tomar mais remédio, eu vou conseguir tratar a minha tireoide, a minha ansiedade, que gera afta só com chás, com a alimentação saudável, com as plantas medicinais que ele ensina a usar e a manusear aqui nesse livro.
Ler Segredos Antigos de um Mestre Curador me incentivou muito para um novo estilo de vida, após eu fazer a minha cirurgia do coração. Tê-la no Brasil é maravilhoso, eu indico.
Segredos Antigos de um Mestre Curador é um livro excelente. Ele nos ensina sobre vários aspectos da nossa vida. Com ele eu aprendi como me alimentar bem e cuidar melhor da minha saúde.
Meu nome é Angélica, sou psicanalista e terapeuta sexual. Eu vim falar hoje sobre o livro Segredos Antigos de um Mestre Curador. E eu me identifiquei muito, principalmente como terapeuta sexual, no trato com as mulheres, a energia Sati. Essa energia é uma energia feminina, que através do autodesenvolvimento e do autoconhecimento, ela é canalizada e pode fazer coisas fenomenais na nossa vida. Eu também me identifiquei muito como psicanalista na página 141, referente a bloqueios e aberturas. E isso é muito importante. Liberar os bloqueios de nossa vida, tanto sentimentais, emocionais, financeiros, de relacionamento, só traz benefícios. Então, para você que está em busca dessa liberação de bloqueios, dessa energia sexual feminina, dessa energia feminina, eu recomendo.
Eu sou profissional da área da saúde e eu estou passando aqui para a gente falar um pouquinho desse livro, Os Segredos Antigos do Mestre Curador. Ele é um livro que ele fala muito do que nós utilizamos hoje da prática integrativa no Brasil e também no mundo, onde a gente tem a capacidade de trazer para a nossa vida uma melhora, uma qualidade de vida. Inclusive, tem sido muito utilizada no SUS como complemento de tratamentos de doenças e outros males que nós temos hoje. Então, assim, é um livro que eu recomendo tanto para profissionais da área de saúde, como eu também recomendo para as pessoas que têm interesse.
So, so beautiful. Thank you, Angelica. So that was put together by Angelica. I don't know if she's on the call right now, but just with love. She not only helped translate the book originally into Portuguese, she lives in Japan, is helping spread the ancient secrets in Japan, but was recently in Brazil and put together that such a beautiful piece, which makes me so inspired for going to Brazil and seeing what's happening. But wow, that is awesome. It's so amazing to come out of 1 month of being in basically totally offline. No computer, no phone, just being with myself. And then to see that the ancient secrets are just moving forward in such a beautiful way all over the world. And another thing what happened when I came out of my silence, let's see if I can show you this. It's so fun. This is an update from, actually, I got this in the mail. Actually, real quick, before I do that, I just want to welcome everyone here. Thank you for being here today. I'm just looking at your faces and just feeling like the spontaneous joy that comes to me, knowing that we're here together on this path, on this mission of deeper healing, healing for ourselves, healing for this planet, healing for those we love, and not just healing, but also happiness and abundance. And today we have some real exciting announcements about some of the things that came to me in the silence or the time offline, about things that I'm more excited about than ever, how we can apply these ancient secrets today to make a real difference, a real impact in your life, and also you as a nucleus and us as a nucleus that will spread to the whole planet. And I just want to thank you for being here. Just really trust that you're not here by accident. Today is also a special 9/11, a 9/11 Global Healing Miracle Call. We're going to have with us actually some of the heroes from 9/11, some of those people that Dr. Naram met and helped, and that helped so many of the 9/11 first responders. We'll connect with that. And then not just how he helped them remove the toxins from their body, but how it's applicable today more than ever. We have some people who have just gone through the 28-day detox and with real inspiring stories that can really touch your heart. So first of all, updates from around the world. When I got home from being away for a long time, I got this in the mail. Asin, are you here? Let's see, I just want to see. I think you are. If you can unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, hello.
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 This is
Hello, everyone.
this is really exciting for me. I can't believe it's arrived.
I'm so happy about it.
Is it okay if I open it?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet because we don't have it in Turkish Amazon and European Amazon.
All right. Well, it's going to be coming soon, but let me see. So actually, I should just make it a little bit better view here. This is it. It came in the mail, and I really hope this is what I think it is. All right. It's like better than Christmas. Yes. Look at this.
Welcome back, Dr. Clint. Hi, everybody.
Amazing. Hi, Linda. Welcome, everyone. I'm opening this and seeing this for the first time.
Who am I?
Can you read this, Asin, for us? Read the title, the subtitle.
Yes. Usta bir şifacının kadim sırları. Kadim is ancient. Usta is master. A healer is a şifacı. And sırlar are the secrets. Usta bir şifacının kadim sırları. That's the Turkish version. I'm so happy to see it.
I mean, can you read the opening quote? I know it's backwards, but
No, it's okay. Size öğretmeye gelmedim. Sizi sevmeye geldim. Sevgi size her şeyi öğretecektir. Love will teach you everything.
So exciting. So for those that don't speak Turkish, the opening quote that we've just emphasized so much, I didn't come to teach you. I came to love you. Love will teach you. And in my time offline, just more and more, I was seeing how this is happening spontaneously and naturally in a way that I don't know if it's existed on the planet like this before. How in such a short period of time, the book is translated in so many languages with so much love. And Asin, can you share what inspired you to translate it into Turkish? So that way now we have it here on the planet and people throughout Turkey can benefit. Can you share what inspired you?
Yes, as I had mentioned before, it was a big coincidence when I first saw the advertisement of the book. And you would know, I saw the Thrive movement website. And it was, very interesting to me because that subtitle underneath about the skeptic, the Western skeptic. I myself have been a skeptic as well, so it attracted my attention very much. And then I very quickly ordered the book and read it. And I was very affected and by your way of telling your story about Dr. Naram and his information with such an open heart. I was so much impressed, and I suddenly decided to translate it into Turkish. But it's a long story. But finally, Dr. Giovanni knew that I was longing to translate that book, so he just told you that I was ready to realize that mission, if I may say so. It was a mission for me, really. It was a mission because I'm in the spiritual stuff since so long. And I did it finally. I'm so thankful and grateful for all the energies that have brought us together. Finally, it's here now, and I'm looking forward to have it in Turkey as soon as possible. But it is very unfortunate that Turkey now is under some very high inflation. So the people who can even afford buying books are having difficulties. And I don't know what kind of solution or make it easier for them to buy it. I would like to talk to you somehow. I don't know. I have no idea how to make it, but I think together we can make it somehow to reach it to the Turkish readers as soon as possible.
Well, you both don't know and you do know. And you know
yes.
because it's written in the opening quote. And basically, we let love guide us. Even I want to do at the beginning of these Sunday calls, spotlight from around the world. Next Sunday, I want to highlight Iran. And, you know, if you think Amazon's not available there at all, but the
no, we have the Turkish Amazon, but it doesn't exist there yet.
Yeah, it will be. But if it can be in Iran and in the way that's happening, then we can get it in Turkey and all over the world. And the way that it'll happen is by love guiding, like love guided you so beautifully. And I just want to thank you for your
thank you too.
Love. And thank you for joining us from Turkey. I know you had a lot of other things happening right now, but I'm so glad we could celebrate this moment, opening this for the first time, and can't wait till this is in the hands of so many people. And more lives will change than you'll realize. And you'll change
I'm sure.
lives, and all those blessings will come to you as well.
I have no doubt about that. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
I believed it. And still I believe so. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How do I say I love you and I'm with you in Turkish? How do I say this?
Seni seviyorum. And
Seni seviyorum.
Kalbim seninle birlikte. My heart is with you.
Thank you, Asin. We'll have you join more and more as as me and Giovanni will come to Turkey. We'll do a book launch there. Many good things will happen.
I hope so. I hope so.
So
Thank you. Thank you. I wish the best for all the Turkish readers, like every reader all around the world.
If everyone, we could just put our hands together and just send so much love to not only Asin, but all the powers that can get this book into the hands of everyone in Turkey that would benefit and need it. We just want to send you so much love. We love you and we're with you. Thank you. So beautiful, Asin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to show one other spotlight from around the world. I don't know if you know, but right now, Dr. Smita and Krishna are in Nepal. And I didn't know this was going to happen, but simultaneously, an article got published in one of the top newspapers in Nepal. And it was written, I don't know if you remember when I had that mission to give the book to Modi, Prime Minister Modi, and all the miracles unfolded. And then I found my divine brother, Gopi. He just published in the Annapurna Post, one of the top newspapers in Nepal, this whole article on the ancient secrets and on the book and the way that it's changing lives around the world and all the miracles happening with it. It's so fun. Just amazing. It's amazing to come out of my not being connected online and then to see all the ways in which it's moving forward. And I want to also acknowledge Jaina and Carol and Cornelia and the entire team, Janet and everyone that on these Sunday calls over this last month were just showing up and serving with so much love and highlighting the translators around the world and the miracles happening in their lives. And Jaina, can you just give a synopsis of what that was like to interview some of these translators and the experiences that you witnessed and the miracles happening over the last month?
Yes. You know, it's amazing. You know, you hear that the book is being translated and you don't put, you know, any thought into it. You don't really see the real people behind the work. Mm-hmm. And what I find is that some of the translators are shy. They don't they don't really want to share their story. They just want to serve is what I see. But when they come out, just like we heard today, they're incredible beings, full of love, full of service. And I've been blown away by the caliber of people who are stepping up and being able to translate this book. I mean, I've always been I've always honored people who are bilingual, and a lot of the people in this community are not only bilingual but trilingual, or just on some. I think Sissy has 9 languages that she speaks. I mean, it's just blowing me away, and it's just been really fun to get to know these people through the Sunday calls. And I really want more. I want more from them. I want to hear from them on a regular basis. It's beautiful to hear their stories.
Yeah, really, really beautiful, really humbling. And in a short period of time, we'll be doing the Sunday calls simultaneously translated in many languages. Because now already, my mom, she's going to need a bigger table, because we have all the translations in different language. But even the questions that are coming in Spanish and Italian and Romanian, Gujarati, French, like, we need to have a way in which there's a system to support the organic growth of, as this book is guided by love into the hands of people that speak whatever languages, how to support their journey, their healing journey. And so in the silence, I had some ideas and some concepts about how also I've been a bottleneck. I've been I don't know how to say it, but like I'm a bottleneck because too many decisions rely on me. And then I just don't have enough time or effort or energy. And so in the silence, and then I've discussed this with some of the admin team, with Carol, with Cornelia, with some of the others, Monica, we're just brainstorming how to make it so this community is supported in growing on its own, at its own pace, at its own strength, and being guided purely by love. And so decisions can be made and the thing can grow, and it's not a business. This isn't a community of Ayush Shakti. It's not a community of any business. It is its own thing. It's not a religion. It's not based on a foundation. We love some of the businesses. We love some of the foundations. We love those things, but it's an experiment. It's an experiment in being guided by love. And so with that experiment, allowing the community to grow and thrive means that we want to give more responsibility and assignments to people. And so I'm going to be talking about this more as the weeks go on, but we're going to create certain council systems in which people have responsibility and clarity about how to move forward the mission. And I just want to say, in this space, one of the councils I'm most excited about is a council called the Golden Angel Council. Okay. And what I realized, I was thinking about some of these golden women, some of these grandmothers, or some of these women who have lived such powerful lives and have such advanced wisdom and insight. And I just love how much they are loving and supporting the ancient secrets and the mission. I just want to acknowledge you. I recognize you. And as we make decisions in the community, we want to seek your advice and your counsel, you wise grandmothers. And I just want to say that this Golden Angel Council is one of the things I'm most excited about. We're going to create other councils as well for how things can move forward. But if you have anyone that you want to nominate for the Golden Angel Council, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that would entail. I don't think it'll take too much time and effort, but lots of heart energy, lots of centering and saying, yes, this is wise. This is good for Mother Earth. This is good for humanity. This is good for everyone who joins the community. Yes, this is a clear yes, and if it's a no, having that wisdom to say, no, actually, I think this is a not yet. So as we're making decisions, because it's not a business, it's not a religion, it's a philosophy, it's a school of thought in which every student can become a master and everyone can benefit as far as you want to go along the path. I just wanted to acknowledge, recognize, and say how much I love you and respect you. And I have some specific people in mind, but I want you to be able to, Carol, what should we do? Should we have people email you if they want to nominate someone for that council?
Absolutely. Or they could just send it to staff@ancientsecretsnow.com, and we can type that in the chat. And that way we have a couple of sets of eyes on it. And I just put in the chat too, just so you know, Jana, Cornelia, and I are all grandmothers.
Yeah. And Jenna, you don't have to be a grandmother to be a
Okay.
golden angel. Because some people don't have kids or grandkids.
Yeah.
Definitely want to access the divine Shakti wisdom. And I just want to say, yes, thank you. Thank you for showing up and thank you for being you. And we see you and we love you. The other reason I think this is important is part of the reason why I went offline, because I was struggling with my own, just my own inadequacies, just my own failings. And I just wanted to be with myself in that space. And I just remember I shared this previously on the admin call, but I was really like looking inward. What am I doing? And how am I showing up? And how am I being of service? And in which ways do I feel like things aren't aligned inside of me? And how can I align those things so I'm a more pure vessel? And I remember I was speaking to my little brother, John, and I just was telling him like some of the mistakes I've made in my life and some of the ways in which I felt like I wasn't enough. And and just some of my fears and anxieties and different things that I was facing inside of myself, And I just remember we were actually playing Top Golf. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but we were playing Top Golf and he looked at me. He's like, Clint, if people saw all of you, if people really saw all of you, they'd know you're not nearly as good as they think you are. And I was like bracing myself for the rejection. He says, if people saw all of you, they'd know you're not nearly as good as they think you are, but that you're infinitely more lovable. Also, like in the middle of playing golf, I just had like all these tears coming down my cheek. And I just realized, this community also isn't about anyone being a guru. There's no one that we want to put on a pedestal. We're all in progress. We're co-pilgrims in this journey. I'm not a guru. Dr. Smita is not a guru. Krishna is not a guru. We're just living it as best as we can and loving it. And all of us have a place, an equal place in helping make this world a better place and applying these ancient secrets. And so that's why I'm excited about it. And then the other announcement I just want to make is that in the silence, Dr. Naram, first of all, yes, his powerful mission was to bring the ancient secrets into every heart and every home. One aspect of that is the healing miracles. Today on this special 9/11 call, you're going to hear some of those healing miracles from some of the 9/11 first responders, also from some of the people that just participated in the 28-day detox. Big important thing that when you have a dis-ease that looks impossible for the rest of the world to solve, Dr. Ram was convinced any disease, any problem on this planet has a solution. And through the ancient secrets is one path in which you can find deeper healing, deeper long-term healing. But that was only one aspect of this brilliant man and of this lineage. He says that 95% of people don't know what they want. They don't. They just go window shopping. Try this husband, this job, this girlfriend, that. They're just trying whatever they can, like a constant stream of, I don't really know what I want, but I'm going to try stuff. 3% of people know what they want, but they never achieve it. They don't have the right tools, technology, support. 1% of people, he said, know what they want. They achieve it, but they never enjoy it. So with Dr. Ram, I met so many billionaires, millionaires, Hollywood stars, Bollywood stars, so many gurus. And we saw behind the closed doors and saw there was a lot of suffering and pain and confusion. 1% of people, they know what they want, they achieved it, but they can't enjoy it. They got health problems, kid problems, relationship problems, whatever problems. So what can we do? What is that 1% of people? Dr. Ram, he said that these ancient secrets are really, yes, when you have health, then what do you do with it? What do you do with your life? You want to discover what you want, achieve what you want, and enjoy what you have achieved. 1% of people have this capacity through the ancient secrets as one path to do it, where you can achieve predictable, long-term, non-toxic success or abundance. And Dr. Ram, he had a mission. It wasn't just to bring the ancient secrets of healing into every home, but also abundance. There is the lost ancient secrets of Siddha Veda of healing, but there's also the lost ancient secrets of achievement, of fulfillment. And it hasn't been time, but I was listening to all 4 hours of recordings of Dr. Ram a few days ago before I was presenting on the Global Healer Summit, and just washing over me again. And in the midst of being in the silence, I just realized that he had told me it's not yet time. But now the book has already been translated in 30 languages. We have in place the 100-day course in Ancient Secrets. We have the 3-year practitioner training where people can be practitioners of the healing art. Now is the time where we can start sharing the ancient secrets for abundance, for achieving abundance on this planet in every level of life in a way that's non-toxic, that's good for planet Earth, that's good for humanity, that's good for your health. How many people say there's health, wealth, and happiness, and they sacrifice 2 of them for 1 of them? But what if you can have all 3 at the same time? So starting on September 25th, we have a new miracle experiment experience focused on abundance with 2 new principles that we've never shared before that are about achieving non-toxic abundance. And abundance is more than money. Dr. Ram says, even in chapter 14, he says, don't focus on don't chase money, but chase excellence. This miracle experiment experience will be different than any ever before because every day we'll have in the morning some activation, a Shakti activation in which there will be yoga or meditations or hypnotic things that will happen from Dr. Naram's audios or different things, get you more and more clarity every day, and then applying the principles with a group around the world where I believe if we can achieve abundance in a way that's good for the planet, good for humanity, and good for your health, why don't we do more of it? And I'm inviting other special guests to join on that. I think one, let's see if she's here on the call. Stephanie, yes. This is a beautiful person that I met her and her husband live not too far from where my mom lives. I just want to see, Stephanie, if you can. Yes, good. So this is one of the angels who will guide some of the morning, we'll say morning Shakti activation rituals. Stephanie, do you just want to just share a little bit about yourself, your background, and why you're excited about this miracle experiment experience?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for the connection. I just feel has been so divine. And I also want to say that being a very heart-centered person, I feel so much love from everyone and from this community. It definitely resonates. And that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. A little bit about my background. So there's so much, but in a nutshell, basically, I strived my whole life. I was one of those people who knew what I wanted, and I had these big, tall goals, and I wanted to own my own business and be an accountant, and just as a fallback plan. So I did all of that. I'm a CPA. And so my abundance has come a lot through my professional career, but I've always wanted to do something good with that abundance. And part of that was I always knew that I wanted to make money so I could make more of a difference. And now that I've actually gotten to that part where I am so abundantly blessed, it's like coming back to that, just that deep gratitude of knowing that I do have all of my needs taken care of. So I can share that love and to do it in, like you say, a pure, non-toxic way. And part of this self-discovery process is just unpacking so much of, when we achieve things, so much of our worth is put into our accomplishments and our monetary gains, and maybe it's status or positions. And somewhere along the way, it's like you start to reevaluate things, and you realize that it's taking a pull away from your soul purpose or your calling and those things that make your heart sing. And in the midst of my financial abundance, I had a meltdown, and I realized that it's because I wasn't soul aligned. So I started practicing yoga more, and then I got certified to become a yoga instructor. And when I stepped into the studio, I realized this is where I'm meant to be. And this is what all of this work that I've done is for, is really making a difference. And there's one quote that I want to share with, from Dr. Stephen Covey, who is also local around here in Utah. And he was trying to recruit, oh my goodness, I forgot his name. But he was trying to get someone to come on board with him. And he was so certain because he said, I know you will join me. And the gentleman said, how do you know? And he said, because for a time you were so concerned about making money that you forgot about making a difference. And I know you want to make a difference. And that really struck me because in this chase for abundance and to fulfill all of our needs, sometimes it's easy to get lost and caught up in that. And I totally got caught up in that. I didn't even expect to get my CPA license or to work for one of the big 4 firms or to spend so much of my life working, like 60 to 80 hours of valuable time just working as a cog, And so I think taking that step back and that leap of faith and just surrendering into love and abundance and just letting go of everything and allowing that flow and to lead from love and to lead from that place where you're overflowing with abundance and it just attracts the right people. And I think, Dr. Clint, that's one thing that brought us together. It's just like when you're in that alignment and you lead with love and you're so open to that and you have that same frequency of giving and also receiving love, it just grows abundantly and infinitely more. And it's just this flow. So part of it, it's not just giving, but it's also receiving and allowing yourself to, feel all of the abundance around you and feel all of that love and support and knowing that you're not alone. And it's such a beautiful community. And I am excited because I can already foresee the growth and it's infinite. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it. And I can't tell you, I'm trying not to cry and have just have that when I'm so overwhelmed with love and I can feel it. I can feel it from a place that's pure and a place that I can feel each person on the call, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you for showing up in the way that you have done. And it's interesting. She mentioned, Stephanie, you mentioned that you achieved abundance, but you felt a disconnect with yourself, and then you were just depressed. Even when wealth was coming, you just felt frustrated. So I'm so excited because during this 30-day miracle experiment experience, we're going to apply the principles from Dr. Naram, the specific principles through which you can have, like in healing. This is not a quick fix healing system. It takes time, but it goes deep. And in the same way, with this focus on abundance, it's not a quick fix, but it's predictable, long-term, non-toxic. And what I love is I invited Stephanie and some other very powerful people to guide some of the morning activations. So she'll bring us through body, because as we're achieving abundance, our body should be healthy. And we should start every day in a very beautiful state. So through body work, through yoga, through meditation, through breath work. Next Sunday, I have a special guest who's someone who, when Dr. Ram was in one of the midst of his own biggest crises, this man helped him get out of the crisis. He'll be leading some of the breath works and doing some of the meditations, helping reprogram some of the beliefs about money. And then we're applying all the principles every day in a group that's actually, it may challenge you in some ways, but in a beautiful way. So Stephanie, I'm so grateful that you're going to be joining us in this journey. Thank you for being with us today. She's not only helping facilitate, but she wants to be a participant of the entire experience. So thank you, Stephanie. Dr. Naram, when he was in Germany, was with one of the wealthiest men on the planet. And this man, who's more cash rich than almost anyone, looked at Dr. Naram and said, please do not make the same mistakes that I did. And Dr. Naram says, what do you mean? You're one of the most successful people. He says, yes, I made the most money, but my kids don't like me. My grandkids don't like me. I bought all my kids BMWs, their girlfriends BMWs. I bought my kids and grandkids everything, but they despise me. Dr. Naram, please don't make this same mistake. And so Dr. Naram started doing something with his own son and his own nieces and nephews called Shakti Partshala. In Shakti Partshala, he would take us out. And instead of us being consumers of experience, consumers of anything, like you go to Disneyland, you're a consumer. You go to the movie, you're a consumer. Actually, he would take us to the movies, but that's but to become a creator. that no matter what happens on planet Earth, no matter what happens with the economy, no matter what happens with whatever fear is being trying to be broadcast through the media, you can create your own experience. You know that you're a powerful creator. And it's through challenge activities. And in this miracle experiment experience, we're going to have certain challenge activities that will challenge some of your beliefs, that will challenge some of your capacity, that awaken you to see a new possibility. And we'll have in place also some other things where instantaneously you'll be able to achieve abundance on many multiple levels. So right now, I know we don't usually do this, but I want to go into breakout room. I just want you in your breakout room with the people to share, if you had more, let's say if you had 5 times, 10 times more abundance in your life, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? How would you make your life better and life better on planet Earth? I know Nechemiah is on this call. He's one of the 9/11, just to me, a hero that started serving those who serve. That Dr. Helped to facilitate healing for thousands of 9/11 firefighters, first responders. And today's call, you're going to hear from them in a little bit. You're also going to hear from some of the 28-day detox, amazing stories. But Nechemiah told me, he's like, I know. Actually, I don't know if Nechemiah, maybe I should have you share it yourself, but he says, I know you're about to start the this new miracle experiment focused on abundance, and I'm worried for you. Because when people achieve abundance, whatever it is, you don't want you to be responsible for what they do with that, because people don't know what happens to them when they have more wealth and more possibilities, more abundance. So at the beginning, Dr. Clint, can you please make people make a vow that if they join this and if they learn these secrets, that the abundance that comes into their life, they'll only use it for the benefit of themselves and for humanity. I was like, that is such a great idea. Because when people apply these secrets, when you apply these secrets, you're going to see something new unlocking in your life. And I want to make sure that you're on a firm foundation of having that intention so that it doesn't ultimately do something negative for you or for humanity. So what would you do if you had 5 times, 10 times, 100 times more abundance? We're going to go into a breakout room right now where I just want you to have a chance to share with some of the other people there. There'll be about 6 or 7 other people, 5 or 6 other people. Just share, what would you do if you had 5 to 10 times more abundance in your life? If you could achieve not only health, wealth, but also happiness simultaneously. On your screen, you'll see where you can join. Just go ahead and click on there. It will only be about 5 minutes in this breakout room, but I just want you to anchor that in. What would you do? Create that vision of what do you want? If you had 5 to 10 times more abundance, what would you do with it? So go ahead and go into the breakout rooms and please share. What was your vision? What would you do with that? And for some people who are out here, Essen, I just want to know from you, dear one, since I'm celebrating you so much. Can you hear me still? What would you do? Oh, she like popped off there. Okay. How about Luke? I want to hear from you. And Harvey, I want to hear from you. What would you do if you had 5 times, 10 times more abundance in your life? What would you do?
Well, it's interesting. First of all, I'll tell you that I did become a millionaire in 2006 by selling a business. I don't have that anymore. But what I found out was it didn't make me any happier. All my problems and issues were still there. My wife and I still argued about the same things. We had a convenience of money, but it didn't make me any happier. And I had fear of loss. And eventually we did lose all of that through mismanagement of money and overspending and everything. So having money doesn't make you any happier. But now, if I were to be so abundant, I want to help great causes like the homeless. We have a huge homeless problem here. And I help the homeless with food and money right now. And I would want to give money towards research like cancer and so many different things. That's how I would want to help the world, by helping to solve health problems and homeless problems.
So beautiful. Wow. You've experienced it. And also you experienced it didn't bring you more happiness. In fact, sometimes brought more complications. But if you have a clear vision at the beginning of what you would do when you have it, I think it makes it so you can digest it more when it comes. Right. Yeah. Thank you, Luke, for sharing that. All right. Susan Purcell, I don't know if you're able to share, or Bridget, if you had 5 times more abundance, 10 times more abundance, you're like, what would you do with it? Oh, you're muted still. Here, let's see. Or we can't hear you. It's just not working that way. All right. Well, maybe you can put it in the chat and I can read it. Yeah, beautiful. All right. Let's see here. Cornelia, what about for you? If you had,
What would I do?
yeah.
I would still do what I'm doing because I love what I'm doing. So I guess there wouldn't change that much because this work, being of service for someone, and for this, particularly for the ancient secrets, that has really been my fulfillment. And to be honest, I've never felt so fulfilled since I've started working for ancient secrets and with ancient secrets. There's just something that changed me and my heart in such a big way, and it opened me up to not only giving love but also receiving love. And so that I definitely wouldn't want to change, but I would definitely contribute to a lot of the needs, like the orphan homes in Nepal. There's so many, or in Germany we see now so many refugees coming from Ukraine, where money is needed to give these families a new home, a new start, and either in Germany or once the war is over, that they can go back and maybe start a new life back home. Things like that I would really like to contribute to.
That makes me so happy. And I love that. For me too, I would do what I'm doing, And there's other elements. I would actually, for me, I would, because we're doing so much with the orphan kids at that specific orphanage and some of the other ones, but I would make it so there's a system we can help any orphan kid on the planet in a way that's transparent, accountable, reflects just integrity with the money so that corruption doesn't come from those who are middlemen in whatever capacity. I do that. And then I'd also do more of helping translate and preserve the ancient secrets from the scrolls as well. This part. Thank you, Cornelia. All right, I'm going to tell everyone in the rooms 1 minute left. Anyone else want to share that is here? You can just unmute yourself.
Hey, hi, Clint. This is Dan. This is great. I've had the great good fortune of having made money at different times, and like Luke, often I felt a lot of anxiety about losing it. But one of the things I did discover is the greatest joy of having abundance is to be able to help people, help people in my life and sponsor people to, get education, to do things, to help people realize their dreams. So I love this project you're working on, and I'm excited about it. It really reminds me of my visions from earlier in my life, and it's so true, that there's such a fulfillment from giving and helping other people. And my partner wants to set up a healing center to do neurofeedback and offer that to a lot of people who could really benefit from that. So this is an exciting project. I'm excited. Thank you for bringing this for us.
I'm excited. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's exciting too, because, what if more people, good people, know that they can achieve abundance, and in a way that's non-toxic, in a way that they know is good for the earth and good for the planet, so, and you're an example of someone who's done it. And so we'll look to you as an advisor or a mentor as we're going through this experience as well. So thank you. So glad you're here.
Hi, Dan. It's good to see you here. Dan and I are friends.
What's one way that you felt like you achieved abundance in a way that was non-toxic? How did you do it in a way that was non-toxic?
Well, let's see. For me, I had the good fortune of I was in the computer software business, and I loved what I did. And I was just happy that they paid me so well, and I just happened. It was really totally miracle, because I was part of a couple startups, and usually like 1 in 30 startups are successful, and I happened to have 2 of them that were successful, and it was just like this abundance came to me. And before that, I had imagined, like, one of my favorite charities was the Hunger Project, And I would imagine writing a check to the Hunger Project for $10,000. And that actually came to fruition. You know, when money came in, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew the organizations I wanted to support and the people I wanted to support. So.
Oh, that is so powerful. You know, there's a quote in Dr. He says, the more clear is the goal, the more sure are the chances. And so when you have that clear vision of what you would do with abundance, then it makes more likely that you'll not only it will come, but for those in the breakout room right before this, Luke came on. He said that he had achieved over $1 million, came to him, but it didn't make him more happy. You know, and it was so beautiful, your authenticity with that, Luke. And then how quickly it dissipated because there wasn't a clear vision of what to do with it or how to grow it. And Dr. Ram, he says, wealth can come to people, but can they digest it? And will it make them better people? And will it make life on the planet better? And so Dan and Luke and everyone who shared, thank you so much for taking time to just a moment to envision, okay, what would life be like for me? And how would I be more an instrument of healing on this planet or good for humanity? Having more clarity for that is very powerful. You know, today we're going to hear from some people, the 9/11, some of these heroes, Nechemiah in particular, who had a vision. And as he had more abundance, for sure, the more abundance that comes for Nechemiah, the better the world is going to become. You know, and I feel that what if in this community in which we're letting love guide us, we're empowered by the principles through which we can achieve long-term, non-toxic, super success abundance, what's possible? So for those who are participating in 3-year path practitioner training, what happens if you understand the principles through which you can have nonstop patients or clients coming to you? It's good for them. It's good for the planet. It's good for you. It's good for your family. For those who have other businesses or other projects or other missions or other visions, what happens when you're empowered with the simple principles that when you apply consistently, make it so you're healthier, you're happier, and also more abundance comes so that way it's non-toxic. It's good for your family. It's good for the planet. It's good for humanity. So thank you for taking a moment and just exploring that with me. Today, actually, Cornelia, if you can put the link for where people can register for that now. We priced it way, way too low. And basically whatever's the money, it goes towards the Ancient Secrets Foundation, which helps the orphan kids and so many other things. But I realize it's too low. So starting next week, next Sunday will be the last time. This week until next Sunday is the last time you can get it at this particular price point. And Dr. he told me, he's like, people must pay for it. The cool thing is we integrated a way where instantaneously within that 30 days, very quickly, you can make easily 2 times what you paid for it or more. But we're going to 3 times the price starting next Sunday. Instead of being $97, it'll be $297 starting next Monday. But I just want to make sure this is an opportunity, is invaluable. There's no price that can be put on this. And I'm so excited about it, more excited than anything in a long time. So now that's that announcement. Next Sunday, you'll hear more about that. But I want to transition a little bit into true abundance isn't just having wealth, but it's having health. There's that quote, so many people spend all their health trying to acquire wealth, and then they spend all their wealth trying to get their health back. So was that really a journey, that they were intending to go on? Well, many people in the recent 28-day detox had such beautiful experiences. I want to start with Cynthia. Let's see if Cynthia, you can share. You had a real beautiful experience. Can you tell in the 28-day detox, what happened for you?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's so great to be with you all. Wasn't expecting to share, so my heart's like out of my throat. But yeah, so I did it with my mom. My mom lives with me. So my mom and I did it for 28 days, and I did it with my sister who was doing it from Alabama. So the 3 of us were on. So Dr. Pranav would be like, Jennifer, and kind of know I was there with my mom. And, it was incredible. It was not what I expected. So I went in for myself. Let me take a breath. I went in because I have a lot of pain. So I had a lot of chronic pain. So I didn't go in wanting to lose weight. Change anything there. I went in because I carry a lot of pain, especially in my heart and in my back. I see patients every day and I'm kind of hunched over doing a lot of telemedicine, and it would keep me up at night, like this intense fibromyalgia pain. And then just pain every month with my cycle. And so I went in and I'm 100% being honest, within the first 10 days, my pain went from 8 out of 10 every day to 2 to 0. And so I told Dr. Pranav at some point soon into the detox, like, I forgot what it feels like to carry the pain in my heart and in my back. And it would feel like, I mean, it truly felt at times that the spots that used to hurt me felt like cool water, like just cool water flowing. And I had never felt that. I felt vibrant. You know, I've never had vibrant health or energy. I'm completely off of coffee. I'm a reformed coffee addict. And so I would be, you know, drinking 4 to 5 cups before seeing patients. And now I drink nothing. And I literally jump out of bed in the morning, drink my ginger and cinnamon tea. But the most miraculous part for me real quick was my mom. You know, soon into the being on the WhatsApp chat, I learned a phrase, Anadatta Sukhi Bhava. You know, blessing the people who made the food, God who grew the food, preparing the food, people eating the food. And when I would find myself so stressed out about my mom, who, for those who don't know me, like has pretty severe Alzheimer's and lives with me, I would say that little prayer to kind of keep my spirits up, to help me, you know, cook food at 5 a.m. before I went to work and make sure that she would eat well. And, you know, my mom ate very poorly because when I'm not around, she's like eating my kids' gummies and like candy and like pasta because I'm Italian, Spanish, and you know, all that. So there was a lot of food she would eat that I think was making her sick and poisoning her. And so I would make her this food, and she would test me like every 10 minutes, you know, and be like, can I have a deli sandwich today? Not today, Mom, but soon maybe, you know, and so we did this, but the miracle was that on day 8, so the detox, this incredible detox, you're doing all this preparation really for day 7, which is the big detox day. And so on day 8, we did it together, and I was like, keep walking, Mom. We're like walking around the house and up and down the stairs, and she would like sit down and I'd be like, let's keep moving. And on day 8, my mom woke up, and she's just somebody who was falling all the time before the detox. She woke up and she was like walking through the kitchen and had all this energy and was watering the plants because she's this miracle worker. And she said, I'm gonna cry, but she's like, I feel like this is working. And she had never acknowledged she was even doing anything. So I was like, what do you mean? And she said, I just feel like my brain isn't foggy anymore. And I said, oh my God, Mom. And we hugged and we went for this drive, and for 3 hours, she told me stories that I crave so much. Like, what was it like growing up with when you were little? And like, I was trying to get like as much as I could from her in the 3 hours that she was lucid. And, you know, soon after that, it kind of faded away. And I talked, you know, Dr. Pranav about like, oh, it felt like, you know, I had it and then it kind of slipped. And he reminded me that it's such a slow and beautiful process because her brain was starved, and it was a glimpse of strength for me that was I cherish those 3 hours. And since then she's had better energy and I feel pain-free, and I'm in this for life. So I know it'll get better and better. So thank you for letting me share.
You're bringing so much emotion to me. We love moms, definitely. In Ancient Secrets, we love moms. And what a priceless thing, not only for your own pain to go away, but to have these sacred moments where your mom was lucid and feeling alive and clear, in which she could share these memories and these stories with you. Priceless. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Pranav and the Ayushakti team that helped put together this 28-day detox so that miracles like this can happen. Dr. Cynthia, amazing. And your background, you're a doctor. Tell me, a doctor of what? I just want that little piece as well so people can understand.
Yeah, so I work with, you know, it was my dream to work with children my whole life. And so I work with children and adolescents and some adults too. So my oldest patient is 75 now. My youngest is 5, but I'm a psychiatrist. And so I know I come from, I'm the kind of psychiatrist that doesn't just talk about medication. I always do therapy, and I always talk about health and wellness and food and addictions and trigger. And so I am doing psychiatry, but I do a lot of medicine. Like I do a lot of like, let me take care of your thyroid. Let's talk about like what to eat. Let's talk about, so yeah, so that's what I do. And I'm in my own practice with a few other people, but I have a dream and I know it's going to happen soon. I want a wellness center, and I want to do the practitioner course, and I want to just do all the things. And I'm going to do that and bring other light workers with me to do it. So That's where I'm headed.
So much love. Linda says, that is so beautiful, Cynthia. Parna says, Cynthia, you're an amazing daughter and human being. Best wishes and love. Love your words from your heart. Keep up the good work. Jerem says, so beautiful, Cynthia. Devananda Daniel says, I had to stop my car. Just so much love for this beautiful story. Jason says, I love you so much, Dr. Cynthia. Can't wait to meet
you. Oh my gosh.
Help you with the Pulse Clinic in Madison.
Yes, I can't wait.
Cynthia, she says, I'm going to help my father in the same circumstances. This gives me so much hope.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Bless you.
Monica, we should make sure we go to Madison. We're preparing my Pulse tour coming up soon. So Monica, if you're, or someone could put the link just to make sure those that are interested in either being on the waiting list for when me or another practitioner comes to your area or hosting a clinic, you can know. If you could just put that in the chat would be helpful. But Dr. Cynthia, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say that speaking of moms, I'm so excited because my own mom did the 20 Detox, and she had such beautiful results. And you know, she's a little shy, and I said, "Can you come on the call and share?" She's like, "Can you just share?" So I'm going to share her story. In fact, I don't know if Dr. Steven is still on the call. Yes, Dr. Steven's a part of this. My mom called me, or actually, I was right about to go offline to unplug my phone, unplug my computer. I was in Europe. We were at the clinics in Holland, in Switzerland. I was with Dr. Giovanni and others. And I got this message from my mom where she was panicking and she was going to the emergency room because she had such severe pain shooting through her body. It was going from back here and shooting towards her heart. More pain than almost anything she'd felt in her life. Even giving childbirth was like that same kind of a pain, but she was worried it was affecting her heart. So she went to the ER. The ER says, looks like you have shingles and you need to take these antibiotics. And then because she knows about the ancient secret, she says, you know, I'm about to meet with my Ayurvedic doctor, my ancient secrets doctor. And they said, the doctor in charge says they have no idea what to do for shingles. You need to take these antibiotics. Now she sent me a message and I saw it just in time before I went offline to tell Dr. Steven, can you help? And do you remember that conversation, Dr. Steven?
I do.
Yeah.
Again, remember, I was the one who got Millie to eat the soup. So I knew this was going to be easy. She would listen. And again, I encourage people, if they know something is happening with someone, always reach above with people with more knowledge. So I think Dr. Giovanni had some knowledge in this. Dr. Ronak had some knowledge in it. We all band together as practitioners. And I sent Millie some herbs and she took them faithfully. And we talked now and then. Even when I went to Denver, she promised to worry about me. So I had to call her when I landed. I was a little late, but so I put her to work and she started the detox. We suggested she didn't start the detox until she got better from this a bit. And then she started the detox. So she was compliant.
She not only started the 28-day detox, but she enrolled one of her good friends. And Rachel, I don't know if you can unmute yourself. I don't know if you're on this call right now. Can you unmute yourself, Rachel? Oh, there we go. Fantastic. Rachel, yes. So my mom not only joined the 28 detox, but said, Rachel, you have to join with me. Now, first, before Rachel, you share your story, I just want to say that the power of this kind of a community is so amazing. My mom, I love her more than anything. And just to know that there's people here and a support system here so she can get help when she needs it. First of all, like Dr. Steven said, he was one of the people that actually, she read the book. She loved the book, but she didn't start Hmong Soup. Not until she heard from one of the beautiful women who translated the book into Brazilian speak about her knee pain going away and Dr. Steven. Then she started taking Hmong Soup and started loving it and seeing the benefit. But then in this particular case, in so much pain, I'm about to go offline. I'm not sure what to do. I just felt so much love that this community would hold her. And not only that, but she felt so much love, she wanted to join the journey. And Rachel, what did my mom say when she enrolled you to participate in the 28-day detox?
You know, it was, I have to say, it wasn't my love for myself to do it, but it was Millie's love for me to do it. And that was enough to keep me strong because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. So yeah, just her love got me to do it.
That's so beautiful. And so tell us, I'm going to share a little the synopsis of what happened for my mom after, but what happened for you? Because it is pretty daunting saying for 28 days, I'm going to eat totally different than I've ever eaten before. Can you describe the pain you were experiencing before? And I think you were about to go for surgery or something was about to happen. Can you describe what was happening?
Yeah, I've had a bad back for many years and I've had several surgeries. I had an injury when I was 18 that hasn't left me, but Millie knew that about me, and I just think it was a miracle that she reached out to me at that time, because I think I didn't even know how much I needed it, and mentally even, physically pain, but emotionally I needed it. And after about 3 weeks, my pain had decreased by at least 70%. I was going from taking multiple pain meds multiple times a day to not even taking it some days at all and not even noticing the pain. And that was a blessing for me. So I'm excited. My energy got better. I'm not even thinking about surgery right now. I lost pounds. Yeah, I got
So
off.
you lost how much weight?
So I just feel better all around.
You said, I'm sorry, I interrupted. You lost how much weight?
I lost 15 pounds.
Congratulations. 15
I did try to.
Yeah, and there wasn't even a goal you had. It's just a side benefit. But main thing is the pain reduced significantly. Also, mentally, emotionally, how would you describe the difference now versus before when you started?
I think I'm loving myself more than I ever did, and just brighter days. Like, I look at the day different when I wake up. So, like, more about what I can achieve and do, and not everything that's daunting me or a challenge, So I'm so blessed and happy, and I'm looking to get my family to do this the next time around. I just want to share the feelings that I got from it. So Millie, I love her dearly for getting me to do this.
I'm just imagining what my mom must be feeling right now to hear you say that you're loving yourself more. The pain going away is awesome, but that you love yourself more, and it's contagious healing because you want other people to experience it. Same way in which she loved you, I have no doubt that you're going to be helping so many other people and living the ancient secrets in a way in which love comes. I call this a love story, but it wasn't like a romantic love story, but love for my father. But also people fall more in love with themselves inevitably when you apply this, because as the physical pain goes away, oh, there's my mom. Yeah, she's coming. Yes.
I love Rachel. But not only does she want to share it with her family, but when I go to Jordan Valley to sub, so many people come up and say, I want to do what Rachel did.
Yeah, it's the school they teach at. Now, Mom, since you're here, Rachel, what difference did you notice in my mom during the 28 days? Did she ever tell you what was happening for her with the situation?
Yes. And even through all that she was going through, I noticed her energy was still good. And her caring, her love just grew as well. She was subbing all the time, even if she probably didn't feel 100%, she was there giving. So I think I noticed a big difference in her.
Mom, can you share what happened with the shingles?
No, you got that.
I tried.
No. He wanted me to share about the shingles because the emergency room doctor was so adamant that our Shakti didn't know what to do. And since I went to the emergency room, I had to go back to my primary care physician a week later. And so he was asking me, and I says, it's getting taken care of. And Irish Shakti, herbs and stuff. And he says, and what is that? And I took a book with me and I says, if you'll read it, this is yours to have. And he says, well, I can buy it. Let's see, where do I go? And I says, no, this is a gift to you with love. And he says, I will read it because I'm very interested to see what this is about.
So not only she had the presence of mind, we always say, follow the advice of your physician, follow the advice if you have medical stuff. But my mom in the emergency room, they gave her antibiotics. She says, I think that's going to do more harm to me than good. And because she had the meeting with Dr. Steven, and now when I came out of the silence, she said it was 99% pain gone from doing the detox, following the herbs, but then giving her own doctor the book and saying,
and what was important is I had a diagnosis given by someone who sees things all the time. So one important part about going to see your physician or the hospital is to get a proper diagnosis, because we can't be there and touch your pulse. A proper diagnosis can help us coordinate the different herbs that you need, the diet and things like that. So it can be very helpful.
Yeah, that's an important point. Well, thank you, Dr. Steven, from my heart. I love you. I'm so grateful the way that you held and took care of my mom in the moment of need when I wasn't available. It means so much to me. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you, Rachel, for showing up for yourself, for accomplishing this beautiful mission and now continuing into the next phase. Beyond the 28-day detox, there's another phase of rejuvenation and taking care of yourself that's included. So for those that haven't done the 28-day detox, you want to, or you want someone else to join you on that, maybe we can put a, I don't know, do we still have the same link for the Google form, Cornelia? Maybe we could just do a quick search on that. Rachel, anything else you want to say about the experience?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. There's another person in my family. I'd say he's part of my family, although technically he's not really blood related, but he showed up for so many of my family's events and different things. And I told him this was happening and I want him to have this experience. And Anthony, yes, this is applicable because 9/11 was all crazy things happened and more people died of the toxins in the body. More people died of the toxins in the body than died from the actual Twin Towers falling. And these ancient secrets are so applicable because it's about removing the toxins from the body. And when you rebalance the system, all the beautiful things that happen and how applicable it is to. And Anthony, can you share what happened for you, the before, what you're facing and versus now, 28 days later? Or now it's been more than.
Absolutely. And thank you very much for this opportunity to share. So I have this condition where I can only do one thing at a time. And so this is very emotional for me. So I've learned that I can either cry or I can speak or I can sing, but I can't do any of the two at the same time.
Maybe we can take a vote. Do you guys want him to cry, to speak, or sing? Let's take a little. All right, you pick, Anthony. We're here with you. Please share yours.
Thank you. So a little bit of the backstory. My biggest claim to fame is that I have experienced a fracture or a concussion at least once on every plate in my skull and lived to tell the parts I can remember. I can't remember the last time I had amnesia. But one thing that led to was these head injuries that happened when I was a kid and into my young adulthood. In my early 20s, I started having seizures because of scar tissue that had grown in my brain. And for 30 years, I took medication to offset the seizures. And finally, the seizures went away on their own. And a couple of years ago, I was able to get off the medication. But one of the side effects of the medication is basically it pickled my insides. My liver wasn't working right. My kidneys weren't working right. My digestion wasn't working right. And in an attempt to shed some weight and to be healthier, it was like I was living in opposite world because I would eat better food, healthier food. I would exercise on a regular basis. And I put on 30 pounds in a month. And so I stopped and I plateaued right there. And a couple of months later, I attempted it again. I put on another 30 pounds. And in about a year, I put on almost 100 pounds trying to eat right and exercise. And it was just driving me nuts. And so I started doing the research and found out that the problem was most likely my liver and my kidneys not working right and my lymph not working right. And so I had talked to Dr. Clint in the past about this and trying to pick his brain for some ideas. And so the week before the detox started and 2 days before he went offline, he invited me to participate in the program. And so I thought about it, and you know, one thing I believe is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And so if you're going to, when you're invited to participate in something, either commit 100% or commit 0%. And that's what I was trying to decide. And so, so I decided to commit 100%. And this was a week before the detox started. And I knew, and I had, besides the head injury, I had never had any of these other things officially diagnosed, but I knew I had symptoms of sleep apnea and narcolepsy. And I was experiencing some neuropathy. I knew my blood pressure was borderline high. My regular physician had expressed concerns that I was borderline, you know, a pre-diabetic, and so just to stay conscious throughout the day with the apnea and the narcolepsy, I was consuming a fair amount of caffeinated soda pop. And I decided on the day that I was invited, I knew there wasn't going to be soda pop in the detox. And so the week before the detox started, I stopped drinking sodas. And I just know.
That is amazing. I just have to say, Anthony, congratulations. That is so amazing. Way to go.
Well, thank you. And so, so I started the detox, and I just started noticing that I had more energy, and that I was sleeping better. And even without the caffeine throughout the day, I was more alert and I was more aware. And my strength increased without additional exercise, and my flexibility increased without any stretching. And a couple of days before Dr. Clint issued the invitation, I hadn't stepped on my scale for probably several months because it was so discouraging. And I stepped on the scale maybe one day, maybe 2 days before I got the invitation from Clint, and my weight was 340.1 pounds. And on the last day of the detox, even like I said, without increasing the exercise, just getting my insides working the way they're supposed to work, my body shed almost 38 pounds. I went from 341 to just under 333.
I see a lot of people applauding you.
303.
I see a lot of people just cheering you on, saying, "Woohoo, Anthony, joyful wonders," Katie says. Linda is celebrating. Andrew from Humanity celebrating. Jody Curtis says, "Pat your left shoulder and say, very good."
Very good. Thank you so much. It can only be, I can only define it as a miracle, because everything else I had tried had the opposite effect. Everything, you know, and it was essentially effortless. It was the side effect of the detox. I didn't join the detox to shed the weight. I wasn't, you know, that it was an absolutely beautiful, miraculous byproduct of the detox. And I forever in your gratitude to you, Dr. Clint. Thank you so much.
And it's just the beginning of your journey. Now you have a vision of what's possible. And can you share with that? We want to hold your intention with us in our hearts. What's your intention from here, Anthony?
Well, my intention is to get back down to my fighting weight, which I was at before the seizure meds started. And it was right around 170 pounds.
Awesome. So we are holding this vision with you. And as you continue the journey, we want you to continue to give us updates so we can celebrate with you and we can encourage you and you can encourage us on our journey as well. But Anthony, just want to personally, on behalf of my brothers and sisters, my parents, on behalf of myself, thank you for all the love you've given us and all the way you've grown up so selflessly to serve, and to see this result for you makes me so happy. And the other thing that's crazy is relatively, it's so inexpensive, like relatively, like this kind of result. In fact, my mom, she brought my cousin, not my cousin, but her cousin, who's 88. He grew up in Kanab, Utah, born and raised in Kanab, Utah, this little teeny town in which they did a lot of John Wayne movies and different stuff was shot in the Red Rock. And she said that she had given his wife a book probably like a year ago, and they didn't read it. And finally his daughter picked it up, put it in front of him, said, "You need to read this." And he's like, "Why?" And he read it in 6 days. And then he called my mom, angry at her. He's like, "Why didn't you pressure me to read this when you gave it to me?" Like, I spent over $5,000 on programs trying to help myself, where as soon as I just did this, started eating the Hmong soup, he's now off of something like 80% of his medications at 88. He's still just beginning the process, but at 88, it was so fun. He's like, "This is my favorite book. This is the most important book to me." But what if we can do it in a relatively inexpensive way that brings us health, brings us vibrancy? Anthony, you're someone who's of so much service to the planet. I believe that the more health, the more abundance you have, the better the world will become. So also, from my heart to your heart, if you give the same 100%, I'm going to gift you also into the miracle experiment experience on abundance. Or if you feel like more inspired, you'll be more inspired to pay for it. Also, that's an option. Whatever makes it more likely that you'll do it. That's what I care about. Some people, there are different ways, but I just think that this will also be a secret, powerful element to unlocking that genius that you are, the healer that you are, the warrior servant that you are. Just love you so much, Anthony.
Oh, thank you. I love you, brother.
Yeah. So good. So this is my question for everyone on this call right now. How many people on this planet Earth, how many of us on this common home of planet Earth, whatever, there's 7 billion of us, how many could benefit? How many of us could benefit from having a diet? What if healing can be delicious? Like Anthony, overall, was it pretty delicious? I want to come back to you one more time. Overall, delicious soup,
I was having this conversation, even though my wife wasn't taking the supplements, she was eating a lot of the same meals. And she got some tremendous benefit as well, better energy and just feeling overall. We were having this conversation, and in our Western society here in the United States, a lot of people spend their grocery money on extremely processed foods. Guilty for a good portion of my life as well. But the main thing that I've learned is that you can spend a certain amount of money and purchase a lot of processed food. I have a sister-in-law who's a nutritionist. I used to always tease her because, she would always get after me if she ever caught me eating a Twinkie or a cookie or anything like that. And so I would tease her and say, well, each of these Twinkies has such low nutritional value that you have to eat a lot of them to compensate.
Okay.
just to make her mad. I wasn't going nuts with the Twinkies, but and so, but what I realized is, if you spend the same amount of dollars on a nutritional food, the foods that are included in the recipes, that your grocery cart may not look as full, but you don't require as much of the food to feel satiated and satisfied. And so even though, you know, some of the things we were purchasing were much more expensive, they would go a lot further. And so dollar for dollar, I'd recommend this 100% every time.
Yeah, it's so true. And even like, and I love Cynthia talked about overcoming certain addictions to certain things. My mom and other people I've talked to, one of the best things about the process is you lose the desire to have some of the things you were having in the past that's just not good for you. And also, you don't have as much appetite because you're nourished, the nutrient value. In fact, one of the people that, you know, had wrote in a quote for the book, such a beautiful, powerful Dr. Joel Furman, he talks about nutrient value of different food. And when it's nutrient packed, it's just so much more nourishing on every level. And this particular way of eating, not only is it affordable, so affordable. I mean, and it's also way, way more affordable than paying for all the medical care for if you don't do this. You know,
yes.
Imagine if you would have kept going without this, Anthony, like how much money would have been spent on doctors and whatever surgeries or whatever kind of things, you know, like unless you can find some other support in other ways. But man, this is amazing. And it's delicious. And
it's really good.
So then how many people on this planet Earth could benefit? And so my question, I thank you so much, Anthony. My question for everyone on this call is, what can we do as a community? Really? So it doesn't ever rely on just one person, but what can we do in terms of structures, in terms of support, so that when all the people in all the different languages want to have this experience and want to be held in love through this experience can do it? Because I believe, you know, like Gandhi says, if one person suffers, all of humanity suffers to that same extent. And if one person is helped, all of humanity is helped, supported, encouraged to that same extent. As we love others, basically, we're supporting all of us. And so that's why in the silence, as I had some of these ideas for some of these councils, including the Golden Angel Council, and as I had this really clarity that now is the time for the miracle experiment experience on abundance, I got so excited because I saw this possibility for how all of us can let love guide us in a way, in a structure that I've never seen happen before on planet Earth. It's not a religion, it's not a business, it's a community that's collaborating, guided by love, making decisions on certain principles for which we can fulfill a purpose, a specific purpose, by using these ancient secrets as a medicine for a lot of the problems, not only the problems facing us physically, but also how much sickness has come from the way that people associate with money, from the way that people have tried to accumulate money at the expense of the earth, at the expense of their health, at the expense of humanity, at the expense of so many things. There's no peace that comes from that. Is that really how we want to live this embodied existence? I don't think so. You know, so whatever happens in the economy, whatever happens with the governments, whatever happens with whatever, what if this community becomes so solid in the principles of letting love guide us, of being creators instead of consumers, so that we can live in every level of abundance, that it's a nucleus that sends ripples out that help benefit everyone on this planet. I believe this is possible. This is what I want to do with my life. This is my mission. This is my purpose at this moment in time. And I'm so excited to join with you with that. So having said that, now we want to transition. Today is a very special day. You know, I just want you to put in the chat, what is one way in which 9/11, in which the Twin Towers fell, that momentous day, what is one way in which that changed your life? What is one thing that happened in your heart or in your life as a result of that? You know, it was like that monumental event that occurred. So I just want to have you just go ahead and post in the chat or be thinking about it. And Cornelia, if you can queue up the first guest. We had through Nechemiah, the beautiful man. In the book, we talked about, I shared about so many of the 9/11 first responders that were helped in this beautiful organization serving those who serve, and how Dr. Naram got an award from the governor of New Jersey for helping so many thousands overcome their health situations by helping remove the toxins from their body. Very similar way that Anthony did it. that Rachel did it, that Dr. Cynthia did it, that my mom did it, that all of us are doing it. Wow, how cool that Dr. helped these street kids in Mumbai. As a result, he knew exactly what to do for these firefighters. As a result, we could put so many of those secrets into this book where even with people just read the book and apply it, health, vibrant health can come. And at the same time, we want to honor those heroes and those people that went to ground zero to help clean up. And Cornelia, do you have it set where you can play the first, this is an interview that Nechemiah connected me with this man. Today, he's actually at ground zero. And he's having a beautiful experience there, a very somber experience, reading the names of so many of the people that were lost on that day. And but he says, I want to be a part of this call. And so I interviewed him, and his name is Mike Denny. And here is the beautiful video. Hey, I am so happy to be here with Mike and so honored to have this conversation. So grateful for Nechemiah for connecting us. And there's been a documentary made about him and his organization, which I highly recommend people to watch. I'm going to include the link. But just these are times that we need to remember and times that actually bring us closer together. And so, Mike, I just want to say welcome today.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to join in live, but tomorrow is a really tough day. I'll be headed down to the site as you're going on. I might be able to listen in for a little bit, but I don't know how that will work with travel and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad to be asked here, and I'm sure that you have some questions for me. So I'll let you direct the questions, and I'll answer the best of my ability.
Yeah. So first of all, you're joining from New York right now, is where you live.
Yes, I live in Rockland County, about 30 miles outside the city of New York.
And can you share where, everyone remembers where they were on 9/11 and what was happening? Just for you, or your perspective, where you were, what was happening inside of you, and then how you became involved in what you were doing.
Well, I worked for the city of New York since 1986. And on 9/11, I was driving to work after a week-long vacation because of the holiday. I had taken the Monday off. So that Tuesday morning, I was driving, and I remember it was such a beautiful day, and I had so much stuff. And I said, there's not going to be so many nice days like today. Maybe I should go back and take care of that. But I had an important meeting that was taking place on that Tuesday morning. So I continued to work, and I actually was working on Rikers Island, which is one of the largest penal colonies in North America, So we were starting a new project, and my secretary came in and said, a plane had hit the World Trade Center. So we all assumed it was a small plane. Then she came in and told us another plane had hit the second World Trade Center. So we were able to go outside and walk up onto a berm and look into the city, and we've seen the first tower collapse. And you're in a lockdown facility on a jail, and there's protocols that get enacted right away. I call it like the sleeping giant wakes up, and all civilians, so that were working under me and projects, we had to account for them and get them off the island. And then we loaded Scott packs into rescue vehicles and sent them down to the site. So I didn't leave Rikers Island until about 6 p.m. And by this time, everything was locked down. So I could not even get off Queens. I couldn't get through Manhattan. I couldn't get through the Bronx. All the bridges were locked down. So I met a friend. We had a nice steak dinner. I heard the bridges were open, and I started my way home. And then they locked down the George Washington Bridge, and I was stuck on the Cross Bronx, which is like a canyon, if anybody's been on it. So you're below grade, and there's nowhere to go, and just sat there. I didn't get home until about 2 a.m. that morning.
Wow.
And my wife is a teacher, and my kids had just started school, and the next morning she was getting up to go to school. The schools were open in Rockland County. And I sat home and I watched the TV with no sound and listened to the radio, which didn't link up with the TV at all, what was going on. And my wife came home from school, and I was still sitting there, and I couldn't believe it. And I told her, this is going to take years to clean up, and that eventually I think that we'll be down there. And she says, nah, I don't think so. So anyway.
You knew because of your responsibility with the government that somehow you'd be involved with cleanup.
Well, I knew that with our agency and what we did and how we mobilized that we probably would get called there. So I didn't make it to work until Friday. And when I got there, they were looking for volunteers, and I volunteered, and they told me to go right to the site. But I said that I couldn't go this weekend because my daughter turned 13th on September 13th. And we had all went to a dude ranch. And I said, I want to keep it as normal as possible because once I go, I'll probably be there for a long time. So we went to the dude ranch, and there was nobody at the dude ranch but a handful of families. And I was like saying, where is everybody? I'm like completely, I remember most of my friends, cops and firemen. And I said, oh, I don't even know if they're alive. It all hit me at the same time. So as I came back to the city, I was, beepers were a thing back then. And as I got into range where the beeper would go off, it was going off with 911 on it, going off. And I got home. I just spent the week, riding horses with the kids. And they said for me to go right down to the site and to go to the Jacob Javits Center. So smelling like a horse, that's how I went down to the site. Got down there Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, and stayed there for the next week, pretty much straight trip.
Wow. Well, I think it's noble that you were so in the midst of the whole chaos of the world, you wanted to create an experience for your daughter where she felt seen and cared for and loved. First of all, I want to acknowledge that. It's really beautiful. And then when you went down and when you were at ground zero, what was your experience there? What was that like?
Well, the first night, what we were doing, they had started to take the bucket brigade, the volunteers were all removed from the site, and we were shaping up and we were bringing in contractors and we were hiring them through, it was like something out of a 1950 movie, in a hall where we're checking credentials, and we were, just taking the workers and putting them with a company. And we split the site into 4 quadrants at this point, and we had given them out that Friday before I got there. They had given contracts out to these 4 major GM firms so anyway, I got down to the site about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was like being on Mars. I couldn't tell you where I was. I couldn't tell you north from south, east from west. Everything was this dull gray color. The fires were still raging. It was surreal. I probably walked about 50% around, and I got completely confused where I was. No landmarks, nothing that you could point out. And as a young, when I first started working, I had worked down in the buildings. I had worked across the street in the financial center, and I would have thought that I would have knew the place by the back of my hand, but nothing looked like anything that I ever seen.
Now, I know that unexpected for most people was also some health challenges that came from inhaling those toxins and being around all the pollutants and everything like that. Did you notice for yourself or the others that you're working with? I know even when people had masks, sometimes that wasn't enough, but did you notice any health situations come as a result of being down there for yourself?
You know what? The first 30 days, it was hit or miss with any kind of PPE that was given out. It was all being brought in. Volunteers were bringing it. People were donating it. A lot of times it was just a dust mask. I didn't get fit tested by the city until probably late October, early November, maybe, and then we started having the equipment. But, from standing in the toxic water down there right away, I noticed a rash on my feet. That was the first thing I noticed. And, I stayed 7 months straight through. And I got hurt on the site. I left, and I was pretty mentally, physically, and spiritually broken at this point. And I didn't return to work until September, so a year after. But by the time Christmas rolled around, of 2002, I couldn't, going to work was a full-time job. It took all my energy, and I wasn't into the holidays. I was sick. I was having these episodes at home where even a sheet on my body was too much for me. It felt like it was crushing me. I was hacking, I was coughing, I was spitting up stuff. I knew I was sick. I went to doctors, and most doctors looked at us and said, we got to wait till you're really sick before we can treat you. We don't know what's wrong with you. And I was saying, well, something's going on with me. Finally, I went to see another doctor, and he just looked at me, and at that point, I felt he thought I was crazy. I stopped going to see real doctors and started to look for alternative treatments.
Wow, what a amazing, confusing time when you have so many ailments and you need help, and you go for, the best care that was being given, but they don't know what to do. I can just imagine that position. And then I don't know I'm curious, how did you meet Nechemiah, serving those who serve, the organization that Dr. Naram worked with? How did that connection happen? How did you find out about it?
Well, like I said, because my agency, the Department of Design and Construction, was there from the beginning to the end. By the time we had all left the site, and the site went for 10 months. So I missed the last 3 months because of my injury. But there was nothing out, there was this handful of people that were meeting, down in Lower Manhattan, like a survivors network kind of thing, trying to figure this out, and a couple of community activities that were concerned about the long-term effect and everything. So it was very grassroots, and I went to a couple of those meetings, and it was splintered. A lot of people fighting for a lot of things. At that time, they were talking about the fire department, the police department, as the only ones that were there, and they were getting all this kind of hands-on treatment and a lot of donations and stuff. So the construction workers, the survivors of the neighborhood, people that survived the collapse themselves, it was very, there was a cutoff. If you got hurt in the first, if you had reported an injury, like in the first 2 weeks, you were covered under the Victim Compensation Fund at the time. So there was nothing for the average person, through the grapevine, I heard about this group that was doing some, alternative treatments, and I tracked it down, and I went to a couple of their meetings, and it was 100%. We'll give you these herbs. You take the herbs and tell us how you're doing, and they give you a 3-month supply. I tell you, they tasted terrible, but I religiously took them, and I started to feel a difference in myself. But then, things happen. I got a lot of skin rashes and stuff, where I went to a dermatologist, and he couldn't tell me what it was, but he kept treating me. He did it for 4 years too. So I was doing a combination of both, but it was kind of word of mouth at the beginning. I got involved with my union after that. And then we went down to Washington, and we advocated for the responders with the reopening of the Victim Compensation Fund. And we had a lawsuit. We sued all the people that didn't take care of us and lied to us about the hazards that we were involved in. And there was a long journey. But one of my greatest things was just having an open mind. Pre 9/11, I was pretty jaded New Yorker, you would say. But after going through, I say it is, I went through the prism of light. I came out, shattered on the other side, but I was open-minded. So.
Did you ever have a chance to meet Dr. Naram, the had created the herbs, or was it the meetings with other people, with Jose, Marshall, Nechemiah?
I was there, but he came into New York once, and we went to see him, and he was very thankful for us. It was down in Lower Manhattan. It was you could tell the man had a special aura about himself and everything. And, there was a couple of us survivors and responders and stuff, and we all got to talk to him, shake his hand, and it was, I forgot all about it until you brought it up. It's like right in front of my mind right now. Yeah, but yes, I did meet him.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And you said that you noticed as you started to take the herbs, even though they didn't taste so good, you were religious about it, and you started to notice some shifts inside of yourself. Can you just talk about what changes you noticed during that time for that period?
Well, basically, I think they helped me mostly with my breathing and with, opening my mind a little bit to trying to heal myself. I think that we have a power in ourselves that we don't know how to tap into all the time, but we could say, hey, I don't like this ache. Let it get out of here, and but this time of year, no matter what happens, as August rolls out and September rolls in and the weather changes and everything, my body stiffens up. I get into this state of real tense stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was taking the herbs, it wasn't as bad. But
yeah, the book that I wrote about Dr. Ram called Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, the subtitle is A Western Skeptic, an Eastern Master, and Life's Greatest Secrets. I was such a skeptic like you. It took breaking me down through certain experiences before I became open to it. But the fun thing is, in the book, it's not just herbs, but home remedies, diet, different things, along with powerful stories, including many of the first responders. And some of those stories are in here. And so just with love for who you are, for sharing your story today, for making a stand for the other, for those victims of 9/11, for the first responders, I just want to give this to you as a gift with love, and also say that I want to stay connected with you. And
thank you so much. That's very nice and kind of you. When Nechemiah asked me to do this interview, I told him it's a really bad weekend. Why couldn't we get this done? And I would have loved to join you tomorrow and hear your program. It sounds like you got the open mind too. I guess we're all on a path to the final journey. Who knows? But if you had talked to me September 10th, this time 21 years ago, you would have been talking to a completely different person. And all the twists and turns, to be down at the ground zero and to be able to give back in that way, it was one of the remarkable experiences of my life. So that said, if anything happened, I told my kid, don't go. Because they're not telling you the truth, but hopefully we could tell the truth to everybody else.
Yeah, well, I just want to send so much love to you and everyone that's going to be experiencing 9/11 and whatever it triggers in them, and our whole community. We always put our hands together like this. And Mike, to you and your family, and to all those who served with so much love, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Our hearts are with you. We love you, and we're with you.
No, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I felt like I know you my whole life. And I just met you on the little box here. So
yeah, I feel like that too. I'm coming to New York soon. Actually, I'll be doing some of these ancient healing clinics, and I just want to connect with you. Maybe we can go have lunch, and maybe you can come to the clinic in whatever way. I just want to stay connected, Mike.
No problem. Now I'll try to make myself available.
Awesome. Many blessings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck with your event tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you, and I'm with you.
Bye-bye.
That's so beautiful. So beautiful. Let's see here. If I can get, there we go. Yes. Thank you, Cornelia, for playing that. Thank you, Mike Denny. Thank you, all those who served, and thank you, Nechemiah, Jose, Marshall, Rosemary, for serving those who serve in such a pure way, wanting to give to the people who needed it. In fact, when the recording ended, Mike told me, he says that those who didn't do these kind of things, those who only went the way of traditional medicine, they're no longer with us. He says, but his friends and those who started doing some of these other ways to improve their health, to remove the toxins from their body, they're still here. And he was just expressing gratitude. And I'm just reading, as he was speaking, I was reading in the chat, he spoke about how 9/11 changed him. He became more open-minded. You know, I just reading some of these. Mojda says, on the day of 9/11, I was in the country for 1 year. I was coming here as a refugee because I was not safe in my own country. That day and many days after that, I was treated as a terrorist. And as one of the customers attacked me in anger, my coworker helped me out. That day, I decided not to judge anyone by their looks and to love others no matter what they say or do. Unconditional love and no judgment. It's so beautiful, Mojda. So beautiful. Jane says, my takeaway from 9/11 was such deep fear for the future of my 4 children, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren. That is one of the things that can happen in instances like that, is fear can come. And so what is it? How do we face fear? How do, instead of becoming a consumer of fear, we can become a creator? You know, what are the ancient secrets? What marma points? What different things? And maybe on the next call, we can talk a little bit more about that. When anything like this happens, natural disaster or terrorist, how can you be ready with home remedies, with marma, with, you know, whatever kind of thing, so you're prepared? Because the world is likely going to shift in pretty crazy ways as whatever structures fall away. How do we be prepared? How can we become creators instead of consumers of the fear, instead of consumers of whatever is that thing? Just reading some of these. Janet says, I was at home with my 1.5-year-old son. I had a very famous national news morning program when the anchor broke in to tell us there was live footage. So I actually saw the second plane hit the tower live. I thought I was fine, but ended up having a week of long panic attack that started on that Friday. Leonore says, 9/11 taught me that the US of A was delivered a teachable moment, a reality check. This nation, a world must not forget. Dr. Naram's peaceful and curative action, in turn, is the perfect counterpoint to the aggression. Oh, it's so beautiful, Leonore. I want to go to Nechemiah. Nechemiah, are you here? Can you unmute yourself? I just want you to have a chance to share. Let's see, Nechemiah. There we go. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome. Can you click unmute? I just want to make sure that we can hear your beautiful voice.
I'm here.
Yeah. So
It's
in
the
this
same Bible. Here I am.
in which the world faced a challenge and most people were being consumers of the fear, you're someone who is a creator of something new, a solution. You know, you and with the other beautiful people that joined with you created serving those who serve. You created with so much purity and love that it literally helped save thousands and thousands of lives, change lives. And even when I was talking to Mike, you know, he was saying, sometimes they would certain organizations only help firefighters or policemen. You didn't do that. You helped anyone who was affected. Family members or people who survived the Twin Towers or the construction workers or the other aid workers that came. And you just did it with so much love. You know, I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for being like Leonore said about Dr. Am, thank you for being a counterpoint to the aggression, for matching that terror with that much love and creating a point where here 21 years later, we're talking about it and celebrating and trying to anchor that in. I just want to give you a moment to share whatever in your heart, you know, whatever happened in that space and some message that you feel like could bless us on this important day, important to remember, important to become.
Abundance of feelings come. I don't know where to start or where to finish. I hope I'll manage to control myself and to speak in time. I was born into fear, just that you know. I was born into a city under siege. My father died in a war he tried to prevent. And I don't hate the Jordans. I was told not to hate who killed him, because actually the Jordans were the only one who didn't kill citizens. The Israelis did, the Palestinians did. So I can't hate them. And I was taught to love. And through fear, when I walk through my life to heal myself and to spiritual practice with a master from India, Dr. Amnu, Dr. Swami Muktananda, I overcome, and love is my main feelings now. And it has been like that for years. Therefore, through what happened recently, I go to different groups and I just give support, because when you overcome your issues, your PTSD become resilience, and you can help others. So you turn the ashes into gold. So what happens? First of all, I'm happy to stand on the shoulders of the person who talked before me, Mike, because he has such big shoulders, so I'm very safe now. He opened his heart in such a big way. He had a big heart before that, and he had heart condition. Still, his heart is so open. So it's easier for me to speak after him. And I'll digress for a moment. I want to acknowledge all the cultures here by acknowledging one culture, the Turkish woman. What's her name? Clint. Dr. Clint, I don't remember her name well. The Turkish lady who spoke before.
Oh yeah, the person who translated the book into Turkish is Asin.
So I'll use the opportunity to honor one beautiful beauty in one culture, and with this I want to say I honor there's a beauty in all the cultures that are represented here. Turkey, your leader Anatok, put on the grave of all the British people that he vanquished, he put a stone that say, "Here lie brave people." He killed them, his army, brave people. They have mothers, they have children. They fought courageously and lost the battle. I want to honor them. Turkey, you brought the Sufis to the world. Near 9/11, I met a group of Sufis that came from a Sheikh Noor, that came from your country. And he has many successors. And none of them claim to be a master. But I think Sheikh Fariha is, but she is kind of doesn't want to say it. And I met her. And people were doing to them exactly what somebody mentioned because they were Muslims. And they held it well. So just honor to Turkey and honor to all the beauty in all the cultures. Coming to us. Let me get my note because I'll lose myself otherwise. Atiti Devo Baba. What a beautiful statement. I'm a scholar. I like to bring this from other cultures. The same knowledge exists everywhere. So let's hope if I succeed to bring it. Let's hope that I'll find the place because it's so beautiful. Yes, I found it. This is not from Turkey. It is Atma, sorry, I don't say it right. Atiti Devo Bava welcome the divine, a guest as divine, everyone and everything, from the great Iranian poet, Rumi. We don't have to invent the wheel. All the great beings knew this truth. The guest house, Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi from Iran, which is so vilified now and has so much beauty in it. The guest house, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who voluntarily sweep your house, empty of its fortune or of its furnitures. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them all at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Up to now, honor Rumi, Iran, and your statement that you picked up as a representative of the ancient secret and as a guidelight torch for all of us. And the group here, that when you get abundance, there are about 100 people. It will be not 100-fold, it will be 1,000-fold, because your heart is already open, which is really where the abundance. If there'll be also financial abundance, what's coming? And back to 9/11. I was walking first in the cafe near literally on the ground, like across the street. It was full of pollution. Did I do massage and body work? No, the fireman didn't want me. They want the women. So I became not a massage therapist. I became a traffic guide to take them to be treated by the women. And the women massages, yes. That's was the beginning of my work in 9/11. Then the place where I worked collapsed, and I started to work in St. Chapel Church, that some of you know, and the pour of love that came from all over the world. Wow, I wish this would be here forever. People don't know the crisis come and everybody come from his heart. What the politician do with it after that, that's a different story. So much love. Whew. From everywhere. They just tell us how great is humanity if we are connected to the heart and feel compassion for people who are suffering. So we were working there day in and day out. I actually lost my job because I was late to my job. It's okay, I was supposed to lose my job. And the people that were on my table, I didn't have a regular massage table, I have a yoga table, they were an arch. So they were doing a restorative version of a down-facing dog and the arch will be restored. And I was pressing them in and whatever and doing energy work. And they started to cough. Not just that they gave me the stories. If you came there and said that you are a therapist, they wouldn't talk with you. I don't need a therapist. The only therapist they talk with are the people who hide that they are therapists, or people like me who didn't claim anything. So they share with me the stories, but they start to cough. And I start to cough. And they tell us that the air is clean, the EPA. I knew they were lying. And just Mark, not just the good people, but the New York Times, the Oracle of New York told us the air is clean. It wasn't just the EPA. Sanjay Gupta told us that they all believe the EPA. Did they? Somebody paid the money to believe it. Sorry to say it here. You learn to whom to believe. The people of the heart, not the people of the money, or the people who are slave to the money. I'm saying it with good heart because they are also human beings, and forgive them, God, for being contracted, like Jesus said. He was a great Jew. So anyway, then there was an article by a guy called Gonzalez, and he told about all the pollutants there, because the editor of the Newsday was away, so he had the freedom to talk. And when the editor came back, he was silenced. Nobody talked anymore, but I got confirmation. So I decided, there are so many pollutants there, I have to do something. I remember Dr. Naram. He diagnosed my arthritis few years before the doctor. So if I kept on taking his medicine, which I should have, I wouldn't have arthritis today, but I had my own break. But when I did it, it was great. So I said, I have to come to him. I have to go to him. If he could find something for arthritis, he can find something for that maybe. I didn't fly on my bicycle to the place where he was having his clinic. I reached there half an hour before he was flying, speaking about divine timing. And he gave me time. He gave me his time. This should be in the next edition of your book, which I hope will come one day. I meet him and I tell him, we have all this. Can you help? You are in another culture, another environment. Can you maybe help these people from America?
Yeah, I did not get any text messages.
Sorry about that. Just someone was unmuted. Keep going.
Okay. He said, of course I can. And I told him, how you know that? He said, I have worked with pollution, which is harder than 9/11. I couldn't believe him.
Yeah.
He said, I worked with the kids in India at that time. I hope they don't do it. And I don't think they do it anymore. They put them as slave to mix the toxin of different things they were creating with their feet, with their legs. And I helped them. Some of them have kids and they call them Dr. Naram. So I can help us on 9/11. So we tried it on 4 guinea pigs. 2 of them were Reiki masters, so they were open to it. And it worked, and we went to all of them. Dr. Naram gave, for many years, wow, my battery is running low. Let me connect. I don't want to lose you. Just a moment. Maybe I have to finish talking now, but let's hope not. Let me connect my computer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I'll be in time, I'm in time. Divine timing. No, let's see. There's a moment just. I'm still with you, yeah? Yeah. Just my computer switched to another window. It's okay. I'm coming back. Okay, sorry about that. So he gave it to the 9/11. This was the first time that a contribution for, and we, as I'm still now, we're not rich in wealth, none of the four of us. At the time, I think we were three, but later on there were four of us. Actually, first I was by myself, but I recruited all my friends, and they were skeptic like you, Dr. Clint. I had to convince them one by one, you know, because I'm a man of faith. When I have the faith, I'll convince anybody that is ready to be convinced. So three people joined, and none of us had the money. And Dr. Naram gave donation from developing country to a developed country for so many years, and so many people healed. I tell you one thing, maybe that will be the closing. How many of you have seen Schindler's List? Probably many of you.
Yeah, I've seen it.
At the end, you stand there and say, I wish I had more money. I could save so many more of you, and I feel the same. I wish we had not the money. I wish we had 1% of what Mount Sinai got, tenths of a percent, and we could send people to Panchakarma. You know, it's not true that nobody died. Some of them died because the herbs are not as strong as Panchakarma. Many of them are alive, but some of them died. There are, as you said, there are many more people, and the press doesn't tell you, they died between 9/11 now, and they try to make all of them as if it's not 9/11. We accept everybody. They decide to prove that they are not 9/11, not to pay them compensation. I'm sorry to speak this way about government, but this is the way I see it. And hopefully, when we do Immunity for Humanity, which we are going to do now, to help people in a way that the hospital don't help them with all the pollutant of the viruses. Hopefully, wealth will come and we'll be able to help people with this. Because what the medical, and I don't want to put the medical establishment down, you are part of it, and Steve was, many of you. For diagnosis, I use them all the time. For treatment, and I don't have a choice. I didn't take, a few years ago, I was 25, few years ago. And since then, I didn't take any pharmaceutical.
Wow, since you were 25, that is amazing.
I'm 26 now, yeah.
Nechemiah, as we're wrapping up this call.
Yeah, sorry, I hope I didn't take too much time. I'm sorry if I did.
You're shared in such a beautiful way. And I just want to acknowledge a couple of things. First of all, that you showed up with love, and then you followed love. You remember Dr. Ram helped me with arthritis. He can help with this cough and cold. And then you did things not only from your heart, but intelligent. You tested with 4 people, like, okay, this works, you know, and then expanded it in such a way that more people have been benefited than probably you'll ever know personally, and their kids and their grandkids. And the way in which you let love guide you is so powerful.
There are thousands of them who helped. And every year they read the name. They don't just read the name of the people who died. They read also the name in the Saint Chapel. They read the name of the people who died since then. And every year there are more and more thousands. And the medical profession doesn't disclose them, but they read their names.
Yeah. Well, as I'm reading some people saying where they were on 9/11, Leonore, she says, I was poised that morning to take a bus into Manhattan. For some reason, I decided against it. I'm grateful that I obeyed my inner voice. And when we're looking at how to let love guide us, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you. Love will teach you. 2 things happen. One is that inspiration comes and you act on it. I also saw Andrea said she had the inspiration that morning to tell her brother, don't go to school. Now, he never missed a day of school, so he went. But we are connected with source. And when love guides you, you can have premonitions where you know in advance what to do, what not to do, and let that inner voice, let that inner soft voice, that spirit guide you. That's one way to let love guide you. The second is when moments come, like 9/11 or whatever can come on the planet, how do we react, Dr. Ram says, or do we respond? And you responded with love and intelligence and created a system that could benefit many people. And so I'm so happy that you're a part of not only sharing this, but I'm excited for you to join the Miracle Experiment experience on abundance. And with this mission, with your heart to bless humanity, to then match it with these ancient principles and see what's possible. It's an experiment. It's a game we're going to play. But can you tell me, why are you excited for that Miracle Experiment experience, and anything that you want to share about that? And then we'll close the call with a special thing that we do.
I want to join the Miracle Experience, and I'll be in Israel because I have to help to support a dying brother, my only brother, from my only like blood brother. Everybody's my brother, but I have one blood brother. He's dying from brain cancer, partly whatever, grief that he was holding inside. But I'm in pain, but I'm enjoying at the same time. I'm able to do that. So I'll be in Israel and I'll try to convince other people to do the diet with me. First, the 7 days, I have to do it in Israel. It will be a challenge to do the 7 days. I wouldn't be able to do 28. And then the abundance, and I'll try to bring people from Israel to this, my family and others, because I have an Israel connection from one side of to the other. That's my personality. But I want to say 2 things about 9/11 that would be really closing.
Please. Actually, before that, for Nechemiah, he's about to, what day do you fly to Israel? This week you go. Sorry.
I'm flying on Saturday evening, and I'll reach on Saturday in Israel. It will be 7 o'clock. I'll be with my brother in the afternoon. If I can be in the ancient secret somehow from there, I will be. And the week after, I definitely will find a way. I don't know where I'll stay and all this, and I trust.
I just want us to sit in this moment. Your brother's name, what's his name?
His name is so beautiful because he doesn't believe in spirituality, but he's spiritual all the way. The name that was given to him is Amishai, a gift to my people. And he's a gift. The same way that I do it with words and my heart, he does it so engineering. He helps everybody. And he doesn't believe in God, but God is in his heart. And he'll go to a good place, I know it. And his mind is losing gradually, but his heart is opening. And people are sending him blessing, and now you'll have blessing, his heart will open even more.
Let's all put our hands together for Amishai.
Thank you.
Struggling with perhaps the last days of his life. Just letting him know we love you and we're with you. And also Nechemiah, we love you. We're with you. So grateful for you.
Thank you. I don't know if I can talk, but I have to say one more thing. Clint, can I?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Dr. Clint. We feel bad for the people who died, always. But it's mostly us, because people from 9/11 appear to people in a vision and say, you are sorry for us, but we are happy up there. We are mourning. They also did the right life. They are happy there. And then there were people who didn't die peacefully because death hit them like that. They didn't know they were dying. So their soul were wandering around New York because they didn't know where they are. People feel them on the subway. So I want to acknowledge native chief that came there and we did a ceremony. So the soul will find their place, because many souls were lost. They didn't know where they were, because when some deaths come to you and you're not ready, you don't know where you're going. And they found the peace also. So I wanted to say these things in closing. And to acknowledge this amazing group. You're not the only group, but you are a very unique group. And together, all these groups will help the world. And one thing, you did break some Guinness record. Dr. Naram broke many. I think your book is been translated faster than not more than the Bible yet, but faster than the Bible. So there's one Guinness record that you already bought. I believe so. I didn't check it, but I believe so.
This call we started with a spotlight around the world. Next call, we're going to actually do a spotlight on what's happening in Israel, Hebrew, and also in Iran with this book. And it's so fun to see the counterpoints of that. But thank you so much, Nechemiah, for the ways in which you serve and show up. And I'm so excited to join with you over this next month and see the possibilities as we continue to apply these ancient secrets.
There's a website of Israelis, and it's called Israelis Love Iran. And then the website in Iran that say Iranian love Israelis. The politician is the politician, but the people are the people.
That's so beautiful. Cornelia, can you just put the link one more time for joining the Miracle Experiment Experience for those that want to join? We'll talk about it again one more time next Sunday. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining this call, and pay attention to what did love teach you today? You know, how is love guiding you? You know, if you just close your eyes just for one moment and just think about one way in which you were moved, some insight that you got, maybe it's a prompting, an inspiration you got about someone you need to reach out to and help in some way, to love in some way. Maybe give a book to, maybe to invite them to a 28-day detox, maybe to invite them to the Miracle Experiment Experience, or maybe something totally different. But what is that inspiration? What is that insight that came to you? What is love teaching? Maybe it's a way to love yourself more. Maybe it's like, aha, I can love myself more by changing my diet or changing my beliefs or what I feed my brain or getting off of my phone and internet for some time to re-anchor my heart and my soul in itself. But just pay attention to what did love teach you today? What did love teach you today? And then as you slowly open your eyes, I just want to just see if I can show you this beautiful community. And I want you to look in the eyes. Can you see the gallery view? Just raise your hand if you can see the gallery view of everyone. Yeah, so just look in the eyes of these beautiful people that are literally joining from all over the world, who are also on this mission of helping themselves and others with love to serve and to heal. And just put your hands together, rub them together. And you actually, I'll invite everyone to unmute yourself and just say, I love you and I'm with you. I love you.
I love you and I'm with you. I love you, Dr. I love you, Carol. Love you, Cornelia. Love you, Lenore. Love you, Jody. Love you, Anthony. Love you, Rachel. Love you, Roma Rishi and Tara. Love you, Anna. Love you, Jera. Mary. Michelle. Love you, Devananda. Love you and I'm with you. Love you, Jaina. Peace. Love you, Jane. Love you, Randy. Love you, Harold. Love you, Susan and Joseph.
I love to be with you again, Andrew. Your voice is so much magical. All your voices, your presence is so magical. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, let's do something. Like Nechemiah said, there's lots of communities doing lots of things, but this is a unique one. We have a role. We have an identity and we have love guiding us. So let's do something we've never seen happen before. Do it together and do it. You know, there's an African saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, I'm committed for whoever wants to show up on this journey of letting love guide us, where there is no guru, there's no one on a pedestal. We're all in this space of recognizing how interconnected we are. And as the world changes in ways that are unknown to us at this moment, how do we let love give us some insight, inspiration before things happen so we can be prepared? And then when things happen, instead of reacting with fear, aggression, we can respond with love, with a vision of Aditi Devabhawa, and knowing that we're here for this divine purpose and to show up in a way that we're uniquely meant to be here and to serve. So I love you. I'm with you. I'm honored to be with you. This week, we'll have some meetings with the leadership team to talk about the council system. We'll have some meetings with other people on scholarships and different things. And we just want to say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you and I'm with you. Namaskar.
Love you and I'm with you.